Abraham Lincoln is well known as one of the great heroes and politicians of our country. He led our nation through a dark period and saved the severed nation. He almost, however, despite his noble efforts, was unable to acquire a second term and see through his plans in the Civil War effort. His first term left him highly unpopular as war costs and death tolls mounted and strained the still young country.
1.
During the war, I suspended the writ of habeas corpus and imposed detention of civilians by the military. Some people were upset due to the potential of unconstitutionality of these actions, but a president must do what a president must do in order to hold a nation together. A house divided against itself cannot stand.
The war was at a stalemate, with neither side gaining any significant ground. One key battle, Antietam, became the rallying point for the Union. The Union troops, under the command of George McClellan, met the Confederates at Sharpstown, near Antietam Creek. In 12 hours of fighting, more than 22,000 men were killed, wounded, or captured on both sides, making it not only the bloodiest battle of the Civil War, but of United States history. Many attributed this high death toll to McClellan, who hesitated at key points in the battle, giving the rebel army time to regroup and counterattack.
Abraham Lincoln used me as a scapegoat to explain the blood at Antietam and dismissed me as general of the Union Army. I'm now running for office to right the wrongs President Lincoln has done and hope to find victory in office.
Thus started McClellan's presidential campaign, but that's not until later. Shortly thereafter, another major event affected Lincoln's status in the public light.
That, on the first day of January, in the year of our Lord, 1863, all persons held as slaves within any state or designated part of a state, the people whereof shall then be in rebellion against the United States, shall be then, thenceforward, and forever free.
This Emancipation Proclamation, while doing little to actually free slaves, changed the public outlook on war. Lincoln now established abolition as a key goal of the war, which rallied abolitionists, weakened Southern support in Europe, and angered Northern Democrats. Despite a strength of support behind him, Lincoln's opponents made sure they were heard. Draft riots ensued when Lincoln ordered a draft of troops. Even Lincoln's political allies were opposing his run at re-election. Unlike many incumbent presidents, Lincoln's renomination as a representative for his party was in doubt. He was opposed by one of his major political allies and rivals, Salmon P. Case.
The president's hesitancy towards emancipation and his lack of policy on racial equality makes him an unfit leader. I have since published 2 pamphlets on the matter, detailing my dissatisfaction. Alas, these actions backfired against my upstart bid for presidency. Thus I resigned from my position as Secretary of the Treasury. Embarrassed, I hid from the political scene until October, when Chief Justice Taney died.
Mr. Case wished to take the position that Taney had left behind. I delayed in appointing him until he took the stump for my re-election, which he eventually did, and I eventually reappointed him.
Bigger opposition came from the Democrats. There were 2 factions of Democrats, Peace Democrats and War Democrats. A leader of the Peace Democrats was Clement Vallandigham.
King Lincoln and his republication buffoons are embarking on a war that will enslave whites. The Union is faulty and the Confederacy is a supreme nation.
Clement was thrown in jail, tried, and convicted by a military jury. This angered the Peace Democrats even more against Lincoln, and even added a peace plank to their convention when nominating the candidate for president. Their nomination, however, contradicted this when they nominated General George McClellan as the Democratic candidate.
Thank you for your nomination. However, I have no desire to end this war. I simply aim to make it more efficient and fight it better than Lincoln and win for the glory of the Union.
The other faction of Democrats, War Democrats, often voiced their support for Abraham Lincoln, and, in fact, the Republicans held their conviction under the name National Union Party in order to open themselves up to attendance from these War Democrats. At the convention, Lincoln was renominated for president. This set the stage for McClellan versus Lincoln.
Despite what my party wants, I will not give up on this war. I will fight with skill and vigor. Lincoln was not a soldier. He cannot lead a war like I can. I can train soldiers like no other, and I can train this country to success too.
McClellan, who was sometimes referred to as Young Napoleon, enjoyed a brief burst of popularity when he was first nominated. There were still doubts about his abilities and his courage after Antietam and the Second Battle of Bull Run, but his charisma was attractive. All that was thrown out of the window when the war swung dramatically in favor of the Union. General Sherman was successful in the famous March to the Sea, which started a chain of major Union successes against the Confederacy. Republicans campaigned on a platform that made Democrats appear to be traitorous to the Union, associating them and depicting them with Confederate sympathizers.
I made sure as Secretary of War that all Union soldiers received an absentee ballot to give them the ability to vote. State law willing, it is estimated that 78% of these soldiers voted for Lincoln's re-election, helping him be lifted to presidency.
Lincoln was victorious in the election, winning with 212 electoral college votes to McClellan's 21. The popular vote was split 55% to 45% in favor of Lincoln. The Confederate states obviously did not vote due to their secession in the Civil War. The war, however, on April 9, 1865, ended 1 month after Lincoln's inauguration. However, just days later, Lincoln was assassinated and had his second term cut short. While this might make the election seem unimportant, it couldn't be farther from the truth. Lincoln's re-election helped him hold the Union together and finish the war. Had McClellan been elected, the war may have ended differently. The election of 1864 confirmed the re-establishment of the Union and has shaped the America we know today.